Welcome to GBIRl, the podcast looking at the real business world of esports, gaming, and streaming with the people and personalities behind it all. Here is your host, Bill the Conqueror.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. And I have always been very interested in talking to other creators to understand their mindset behind the things that they do, why they do it, how they do it. And I'm always trying to disprove the narrative that gamers are a bunch of idiots and they just want to assert their own fake dominance over other gamers because they've actually failed in real life. But I try to find the good in things. And I try to talk to people that create good stuff. I try to understand the mindset of people as they grow and learn. And you see the man on the screen right there. This gentleman, I can honestly say his content has affected the way that I play Destiny 2. And I think that is what content creators, in the end, that's all they really want, is that they want to positively impact people through the content that they create. And you see the gentleman there. He is I guess you could call him he's the PvP dad. He has great dad jokes, which I can honestly say I have traded dad jokes with Critbuff several times, but I have with me today the ever-present Critbuff, all the way from his home in Hawaii, right?
That is absolutely correct. Yeah, I'm actually on the island of Oahu. So I'm stationed here at Schofield Barracks, and we have called Hawaii home for the past, a little over 2 years. And it's actually where I'll be separating from the Army. So I'm wrapping up. Yeah, I'm wrapping up my military service, 20 years. The 19th year starts in January.
Wow. Okay.
That's my wife Lynn too, by the way, in the background. Wave hi, Lynn.
And you know, I gotta say, it's a good day on the podcast when you can meet the families of the people that you interview, because I can see in the background your kids are there too, right?
Yeah, we've got Haley, my oldest, and Zoe, my youngest, and right now, what are they doing? They're watching something on Disney together on the iPad. Perfect. So for people who may not be very aware of all the things that you do, so give me a short background on yourself. Sure. So I do weapon reviews in Destiny 2, specifically PvP focused one primarily. I was inspired to do that when I used to watch, if everybody remembers in D1, Blessius, Mr. Fruit, and others out there. They were much more carefree. They didn't do what I do, which is to try to take something apart and put it back together again, to learn as much as I possibly can about it, because I'm not as good as a lot of people. So, for example, this week I'm experiencing an extreme amount of frustration trying to learn how to use a shotgun. It's never something I've really done. So to review the shotgun, I've got to spend a week with it at least.
Right. And
I'm in the first few days, it's miserable because I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm just getting destroyed regularly. So that's what I do.
Okay. And I think it's important to note that you brought up some other creators that inspired you. And so it's one of those kind of circles that feeds itself, where you watch a creator do something and you're like, you know what? I like what that person does. That person inspires me to take risks on my own. And there's honestly, there's nothing wrong with taking an idea and adding your piece to it. And I think one of the reasons I find your content credible is you will do a weapon review after you have 1,000 kills with a weapon, and that's a lot of kills. That isn't just like a weekend. That's a long time of playing with a gun with certain perks that you think you'll like. And so sort of talk me through your thought process there, because some people will a weapon reviews, like they'll play with a shotgun for 2 or 3 days, a whole bunch, and then they'll kind of say, I like this perk, I don't like this perk. Here's the way I play, but whereas you've sort of taken that extra step of, no, you know what, I'm going to get 1,000 kills. 1,000 kills is a lot of kills. I can say this. I have a Huckleberry that I got very, very early. Very, very early. I haven't used it in a while, but that Huckleberry has 3,000 kills on it. 3,000 kills. I used to never take that gun off. When I was a very young Guardian, I always used that weapon. So 1,000 kills is a lot of kills. So I want to get into your thought process behind that.
Sure. So a lot of people have brought up the question, right? Like, why do you do 1,000? Wouldn't like 100 do it, or wouldn't half of that do that? And truth be told, I've definitely noticed this with several weapons. The first 500 or so, I'm very much still learning. It's a very rough phase. It's violent. It's tumultuous. It's not a good time.
Right.
I'm learning what I like, what I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned the perks. A lot of people will say, "Why don't you just farm for a god roll and do that?" And I'm like, most people, like, what's your chance of getting a god roll? Like a 5 out of 5. What's the math behind that? Like 1 in so many thousands.
Right.
Most of us aren't rocking our favorite rules of our weapons. Usually we're at a 4 out of 5, or usually a 3 out of 5. And what I primarily look for, it is weapon dependent. So on a shotgun, for example, I wouldn't consider anything that didn't have full choke.
Okay.
The pellet spread being tightened is absolutely critical. I would say that full choke is almost mandatory on any pellet shotgun at this point. So I do have some restrictions when it comes to perks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're usually limited to the third and fourth perks, right? The ones that do most of the work. But
right.
As you continue to work with weapons, you find out that that's not always the case. For example, the multi-mock SMG from Iron Banner. Really, the bread maker, the money maker, is the scope. More so than anything else on that gun, the scope. The Model 8 Red gets you an extra 50% base range. Effective damage drop-off because of the zoom that it offers. It offers 4 points of zoom. That does more for range on that weapon than anything else does. So I was fortunate enough to get 2 copies that had that scope and were nearly identical, but they had different fourth perks. One was Iron Reach, which is what a lot of people are looking for because they want as much range as possible. The other was Kill Clip, which is fun in 6s. So I took 500 on one, 500 on the other, and in my review I say, hey, for 6s, and if you're still trying to get used to the weapon, Kill Clip. If you're going into a 3 versus 3 playlist like Elimination, where kill perks don't really matter much,
right?
Because people play their lives and split up or consolidate after someone dies, Iron Reach. And in this case, that's not what I'm doing with this shotgun. I would have loved a quick draw opening shot full choke. I keep trying to roll for one with my Umbrals. Haven't gotten it yet. I would probably switch to it once I got it. But right now I've got almost everything I want except that it's quick draw and Harmony. So okay. Harmony, extra damage when you get the damage with the other, or the kill with the other weapon.
Right.
You can't hold out for your god roll, and that's why I don't. Because if I did, I would never review anything. And I choose the 1,000 because after that first 500, things start to click. I adapt. I really pick up and adapt to the playstyle that favors the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And then really, those last 300 kills happen like that. Because at that point, everything's connected. It's all making sense. I understand it. It understands me. The weapon and I we're like the what's the gif, Schwarzenegger, and I can't remember the other actor's name, but from Predator, or the two.
Carl Weathers.
Yes. So yeah, the hand grip shake thing. Yep. The bulging biceps. So that's kind of how I feel with a weapon after I get to about the 700 kill mark. It all downhill from there.
Got it.
So
Okay. I see what
yeah.
you're saying. Okay.
Now, primary is definitely easier than special, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. Okay. And so I just want to I want to point out right there how in depth that is. That you're not churning out a weapon reviews like every couple days. You literally take a couple of weeks with a gun and you run through all the paces you could possibly run through. If you get other roles that have some other perk combinations, you might throw those in too. But what you're looking for is as much information as you can grab, and that speaks that content style speaks directly to you as a person, because you're a little older, you have a family, you have responsibilities, you have
Exactly.
you have bills to pay, you have to be thoughtful, you have to plan 3, 4, 5 steps ahead, because you have kids. You're like, okay, well, my kids are 7, my oldest is 7, so in 2 years I'm going to be out of the army, so she'll be 9, and are we going to stay in Hawaii, are we going to move back to mainland, what are we doing? And so when you make that kind of content, it's a direct reflection on you as a person. And that's what I think a lot of content creators kind of miss, is that they don't they all think that they should what makes content good is the personal touch that the creators have involved with it, and so that the sort of goes to my next question of, so when it comes to Destiny 2 PvP, it feels very much, Destiny 2 PvP feels very much like a young person's game. It feels very much like you have to have the fast reflexes. You literally have to grind yourself up the ladder, facing people who might be better than you, facing cheaters, and certain game modes are, you're better at certain game modes than you are at others. And so when it comes to you as a creator, as family, you're probably on the upper level when it comes to age. I'm on like the super high level. I'm almost 50 years old. You're not there. You have younger kids. But I want you to speak to the fact that while you enjoy making content, it isn't your life.
No, yeah. So as a soldier, I have other responsibilities, and work is definitely encroached upon a lot of what I would like to do. Particularly, you have a new command team. You've got to find out what your commander, what their priorities are, how you're going to go about accomplishing all of that. So this all happens. Most of my playtime happens in my off time, which isn't very often because I'm gone for most of the day. I come home. I also owe the wife and the family time.
Yep.
And my personal touch, unfortunately, is very bland and milquetoast. I think it was interesting. I was in a phone call with our Discord call with Ascendant Nomad, if you know who he is.
Yes, I do know who he is. Yes, and if you don't know who Ascendant Nomad is, you don't play Destiny 2 PvP. Just saying.
Exactly. Man's brilliant.
He is, very much. Very so.
Extremely educated, extremely well thought, well spoken.
Yep.
Also gets to have the benefit of a lovely accent and deep voice.
Yep.
Now, I was in a call with Nomad, and we were going over my videos to kind of see how I can improve. He's like, "You've got this cool guy thing where you're very monotone, and you da 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 da." Cool guy, another amazing content creator.
Yep.
And he talked about pitch, pace, and pause with me.
Mm-hmm.
So pitch, unfortunately, I'm kind of stuck with the pitch of my voice where it's at. Pace.
Right.
Pace I can control, pause I can control. So pace, right, whether you do something quickly, then slow down and quickly again, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Pausing for emphasis, that sort of thing. So, as much as I've tried to inject my personality into my narration delivery,
right,
I think it's just who I am at this point, to be a little bit monotone and to be very much a set a very consistent set and pace, and I might make little cute snide remarks in my comment or my reviews every now and then, but yeah, for the most part, my reviews are who I am.
See, and that's I think what a lot of people miss, and I just said this, is that your content is a direct reflection of who you are. You are a family man. You are you are one of the two guiding forces. I mean, your family, and you have to be that calm and measured and rational person in your house. You have to be. You are thinking of your family for the next 10, 15, 20 years. You're thinking of, I'm going to be out of the army in 2 years. What am I going to do with myself when I'm not, when I'm not on duty? What am I going to do for a job? It's 20 years. So then you have to handle all the paperwork coming out, and your health benefits and your pension and all this stuff you have to think of.
Yeah.
That takes a definite priority over your content, right?
Right, and also I do things like I set myself at a disadvantage. Like you mentioned earlier, Destiny is very much a young man's game because having the ability to have those twitch reflexes to, flick instantly, shotgun someone, then flick back, do a strafe jump, and then whip out your hand cannon and get 3 headshots in the air, like you see a lot of popular PvP players do.
Right.
And they're all usually no older than their mid-20s, or maybe some of them are old enough to be approaching their mid-20s now.
Right.
I can't do that. I can't keep up with that pace. Those guys and gals are much better than am I.
Right.
I've never claimed to be as good as or better than are they. I just do the best that I can, considering physical restrictions, like age, in this case, limited reflexes, time restrictions. I can't spend I can't stream 9 hours a day. So, and I'm also on console. I'm on the sticks.
So, and there's a very specific reason why there's only one Frostbolt. There's a very specific reason why there's only one Pure Chill. There's a very specific reason why there's only one ZK Mushroom. There's a very specific reason. They're very, very, very talented, and they have proven that over time. They have definitely created for themselves the space of, I'm good at Destiny 2 PvP, and that's fine. For people like you and me, we're a little older. We have to be different. We're at a different point in our lives. And so it's okay. All that being said, I saw on Twitter, it was probably at the time of this recording, probably earlier this week, maybe it was late last week, where it was one of those tweets where it felt like you were really venting. You're like, I'm tired of people who constantly dump on me, because it is very fair to say that the Destiny 2 PvP community has a very toxic side. If you play at any level at all consistently, you will get people that bag you. You'll get people that say horrible things to you, and you go out of your way to make PvP content. And there's and there's a group of people who will go out of their way to say horrible things to you because they can be, and whether it's on Twitch or whether it's on your videos on YouTube. And I saw that, and I could see, and perhaps this is a benefit of age that I have. I could see in that tweet a lot of the pent up frustration you have about people constantly crapping on you, and so I guess I just want to understand where you were at that moment in time of that tweet.
I suppose it's been an accumulation of things, right? So, what's great is that I feel vindicated in a way, and I'll explain in a moment.
Sure.
One of my least popular opinions, or most unpopular opinions, I am of the belief that there's too much special ammo in the Crucible still. I know that we can't run double scav anymore. I think scavengers should be dead. in the Crucible. I think
Okay.
Special Ammo Scavenger needs to be dead. You shouldn't be able to main a plug one or a main ingredient for an entire match and only get like one primary kill. That's not. So a lot of people disagree with me. A lot of people like, oh, you just want year one again when it was double primary, and
Right.
actually, yeah, I kind of do. But I realize I realize that's even more of an unpopular opinion.
Right.
There's that. Let's see. I have a little bit of scrub mentality, if I'm being completely honest. And if you're not familiar with it, scrub mentality is when you kind of impose artificial limits or rules or what's considered like a code of conduct or honor
Okay.
on your opponents that they are by no means beholden to, and you've made yourself beholden to it. So that would be me being upset at everyone running, Lawrence Driver on a Shadow Dive Hunter wearing Stompies,
Yep.
right? It's in the game. They have every right to use it, and if they want to win, that's a great way to make sure that you have a very good chance of winning.
Right.
So, I'm doing these reviews, and I'm limiting myself. I'm kind of handicapping myself learning a new weapon every time. I'm handicapping myself by using something that's not necessarily optimal. Definitely felt that when I was doing like the 450 auto rifles.
Right.
So I made that statement most likely as a culmination of all of that, and then also I know for example when I called Calico out for pretending or wanting to mislead players with his pretending to be Bungie help back when we had a real issue with cheating.
Yep.
Before the battle I got installed, he made his profile look like Bungie help, and he put on there, Vanguard anti-cheat coming soon, and so I called him out for it. Told people to report him for pretending to be Bungie help. That got me into a lot of that put me in the eyes of a lot of people who are from that side of the PvP community who now have a new favorite target for a while.
Right.
So now it's not everybody in the PvP community. There are other amazing players. True Vanguard's a great guy. He's a dad, obviously.
Yep.
Cool guy. Cammy, Fallout, all of them. Great people, great players, but there's definitely, Bomb Squad Kittens did what they did for a long time, and they had following.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
So, more so than anything else, at times I just feel defeated because I'm doing this weapon review on this suboptimal gun, and as I'm getting my teeth kicked in throughout the entire week that I'm doing it, I kind of ask myself, why am I doing this? In the review, I'm going to tell people not to use it.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So that's where I can be sometimes mentally. So if I ever seem like I'm venting or particularly frustrated on Twitter, it's just because it's been a rough day and nothing but Stompies, Hunters, shadow diving, and teabagging me every chance they get it.
So so all that being said, I've seen clips of yours, and I've seen you also comment on Twitter and say it live on Twitch that there are people in PvP when they see you on the other team, they go out of their way to find you, don't they?
Yeah, no, certainly. Probably members of those communities I mentioned before, where I'm not very popular or very liked. They definitely they'll use an entire super just to get me, or they'll. It's not nearly to the level that someone like say Cool Guy deals with. I've talked with Austin several times.
Okay.
And we've always talked about it when we were playing together. Somebody would spend their entire super just to get Austin. They'll fly right past me and everybody else because he's obviously a much more well-known figure.
Right.
Now some people might do it just because they get excited to see you there and think, oh cool, oh my gosh, Cool Guy. I gotta test my mettle against Cool Guy and see how it goes.
Right.
Yeah, for you it's just that match. For Austin it's every match. So you can imagine like he's a little wary of it by that point.
Yeah. Well, so okay, so that that's one of those things that can definitely make the gaming experience rough for you. I mean, it's a definite personal paradox where you have set yourself apart because of your content, But at the same time, you just like, hey, I just want to play the game. That's really it.
Yeah.
I just want to hang out with some friends. Maybe, if I'm streaming, I'll bring some viewers in. But it's a really interesting paradox that you have, because I know for a fact Cactus deals with the exact same thing. I have literally watched videos and streams where people will go out of their way to hunt him down specifically, and it's one of those mindsets where if you're a full-time creator like he is, it's just something you have to deal with. But when it comes to somebody like you, you have a job and a family and a life and a house that is completely separate from gaming. So for you, gaming is something you do, and you have a job that pays your bills and takes care of your family. So is there ever a point where you're so frustrated that it bleeds over to your regular life with your family, with your wife?
I would say certainly, and my wife will testify to this. There are times where like I just have a rough go of it, and she can tell. She's like, yeah. She's never said it because she's always been great and supportive and there for me. But I can tell she's probably been like, he must have had a rough night tonight trying out that weapon for a video. You must be having a hard time with it. And God bless her, she's never like held it against me or anything. She's always been there and supportive, but I'm sure that she'll tell you, there are times where I'm just not my usual self because of something I'm trying to do here. So
when you tweeted that out about a week ago, where you were just so frustrated, you're like, I'm done with Twitch, I'm not streaming anymore, I'm done with the negativity. Was there some relief there? Was there like, you know what, this is finally off my back?
In a way, yes, because I was heating up so early to do it. And that was kind of causing some anxiety, me waking myself up early in the morning, way earlier than I wanted to, which made me super tired by the evening when I was off and with my family, so, not less time with them. So that was nice not to have to worry about that anymore.
However, you did tell me that
I broke my rule.
You broke your rule. So, okay, so what happened there?
So we talked about how I'm not somebody who puts something out regularly every day.
Right.
Or even every couple days. It's usually about a week or so or more between my uploads. YouTube hates that.
Yeah, they do.
YouTube wants... It's funny, the Creators Academy account says, no, we don't favor people who upload every day. For some channels, once a week is right. And you can see right through the lie.
Yeah. Yep.
So by streaming on YouTube, at least, if nothing else, I can make them happy and give them something to work with, even if it's not necessarily my best. But I don't have very many viewers, and I can tell one of the reasons I don't have very many viewers is that I am miserable the entire time I'm testing a weapon usually, because, again, it's me rocking this little Fractifist shotgun against a Stompy's Chaperone Shatterdive main.
Right.
And, he's there to win his $10,000 prize in Quick Play Tournament World Series.
Right.
And I'm just miserable the whole time, but that's the state of the PvP sandbox, and so I'm trying to get this review done. So I know why I don't have very many viewers, because who wants to watch somebody punch himself in the face repeatedly?
Yeah, and that's, that's an interesting a way to put it, but at the same time, you wouldn't do these things if you didn't find value in it for yourself, because I can tell you, as somebody who's like you, I post on YouTube maybe once a week. I do have this podcast that shows up on YouTube. I might throw in another video once in a while. I have some thoughts, but the two of us know that a video that lasts 8 to 10 minutes takes 2 hours to make, you know.
Oh, at a minimum. At a minimum.
I mean, it's not just you have some footage and you throw it on YouTube. No, there's the editing and the narration, and if you get one little thing wrong, you got to refilm an entire segment, and then the whole planning process. So making videos takes time, and I totally, completely understand what you're saying there. And so, I mean, so when you're making your content, I know that you play on Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Series X, yes.
Yes. Okay. Xbox Series X. So, when you're making your content, even after Bungie's changes to console sensitivity to help with the crossplay, are seeing major differences between PC and console?
Oh, certainly, and that's because I started Destiny 2 on PC. I actually started on Xbox for Destiny 1, stayed there, then went to PC for D2, played a little bit on PlayStation, but 99.99% of it was PC.
Right.
And I left PC because I couldn't keep up. It's those kids we were talking about, man. Those young guys and gals who are at the top of their game physically. You know, they're at their physical peaks. Their reaction times are lightning fast. They don't have to worry about feeding 3 or 4 other people. You know, they just throw something in the microwave and that's good. So when I left PC, I left because I told my friends, I'm like, hey, I love you all, but 1, the cheater epidemic was at its all-time high.
Okay.
And 2, I just couldn't keep up anymore. The casual player on PC is just so much sweatier than the casual player on console. I think console is where your dads and your moms are.
Okay.
And no, I'm not saying that there are no moms and dads on PC, but I am saying that the vast majority of people on PC, like if you go to Guardian Theater and try to find streams of me, it's all my own streams. Nobody else is really streaming from console because all the streamers are on PC. That's where the competitive scene for this game is, both PvE and PvP, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Absolutely. And I mean, even with the new consoles coming out that allow you to go to 60 FPS, it doesn't change. It doesn't change the fact that there is no console out there. I don't care what you think of the PS5 or anything. There's no console that comes close to a PC that has a 3080 with a decent processor. It doesn't come close. It's just not the same, and I don't think people fully understand that. And I do have to say that I respect your. How I phrase this. I have. In the course of this conversation, I have come to respect you more because you have been vulnerable about the fact. Look, I can't keep up. I can't do this. You know, I do this for fun. I try to help out a few people. I try to make some content, and I appreciate that because I'm the same way sometimes. Like, hey, look, you know, I can play a little in PvP depending on who I'm. You know, depending on who I'm with, I can definitely play a little. But when it comes to a 1v1, oh no, hell no, that ain't happening. Not any day of the week, even if I've had my best day ever. I'm not. That's just not me. And so I definitely appreciate the fact that you are self-aware enough to go, hey, look, this is secondary in my life. It's just something that I have a passion about. I love it, but it don't pay my bills. It don't pay my bills. It don't pay my bills. Okay, and so in that vein, I'm sure that your gaming life has leaked into your real life with your superiors and your fellow soldiers. So give me some good stories, because I'm sure there are some people like, oh, you play Destiny 2, or your superior officers are like, hey, what the hell is Destiny 2?
It's interesting. I do love to share clips with some buddies in the office who've played before. A lot of them don't keep up to date currently, unfortunately, because again, a lot of them are senior non-commissioned officers like me. So I'm a sergeant first class.
Okay.
I'm really only supposed to hang out with the other senior non-commissioned officers. I'm not supposed to be mingling with the younger folks.
Right, right.
And there are a few of them who do play, but like me, most of them just, it's not what they get an hour or two maybe a night, and that's it. And then they've got sections. We're at the brigade staff level. They have stuff that they've got to manage and mitigate and take care of.
Right.
And often, I'm leaving after 5 o'clock. So are they, because they're in the human resources department and they're responsible for reporting on the accountability of an entire brigade. Or they're in the legal office and they're busy processing paperwork for however many of our idiots are in trouble this week for doing something stupid.
Right, exactly.
So we swap a few clips with each other, but unfortunately, that's about the extent of it. I'm sorry. I wish I had a better story.
That's okay. No, that's totally fine. Because see, and it's I always love to get outside of the bubble of gaming, because it is definitely a bubble. It's definitely a bubble, especially Destiny 2. If you've ever played other games, not Destiny 2, and then you say something about it online, it seems like the instant response is, wait, there are other games, not Destiny 2? Oh yeah, there's lots of them out there, right?
Like Forza just came out. Forza Horizon just came out, and it's fantastic, fun game. You can just pick it up, put it down. No real issues with that or problems doing that. It's been fun. Let's see what else. What else have I got here on my hard drive? There's Forza. Alan Wake got re-released recently, didn't it?
I think it did. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic game from the original, not the original Xbox, but a few generations ago.
Right.
Fantastic game. Love it. Might download that and do the remastered. So, Destiny does seem to be one of those games where people kind of only play Destiny.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100% agree. Yeah.
So, and I've done other interviews with creators who are older, and if you want, and so what advice would you give to somebody who perhaps they're like you, they have a family and a job and a couple kids, but they're like, what, this seems like a pretty low-key way to have a little something on the side that keeps me distracted,
hobby.
Yeah. Just a little hobby on the side keeps me distracted. I'm not going out Fridays with the guys and getting drunk. I'm at home. My wife knows where I am all the time, sort of thing. What advice would you give to people like yourself, maybe people my age? Because serious story, I didn't start making content until about I didn't start putting stuff online until 2.5 years ago. So I got started like super late in the game. I mean, like extra super late. So I mean, what sort of advice do you have?
I would say that it's very important that you identify your niche, right? So they always talk about, or you always hear about that the first time you start looking into content creation guides.
Right.
And so an example of niche would be a specific game, Destiny 2. Well, a sub-niche would be PvP. Further developing that niche would be weapon reviews.
Right.
Right? That's like there are 3 layers to it. Destiny 2, PvP, weapon reviews. You need to really focus in on something specifically like that, and you need to be of value. Unless you are Frostbolt and can drop a 50 defeat game consistently, that nobody just wants to look at clips of you being awesome.
Right.
That's cool. You look at it on Twitter, you go, oh, that's cool, nice clip, and then you move on with your life. My best and most successful content has been when I have taught, like, I did a video on Instagram. I was like, hey, by the way, Stormcaller's Brace was recently buffed. You get super energy back up to 50% when you kill enough enemies within your super. And I did a quick little 15-second Instagram reel on that. that got like 1,700 plus likes, hundreds of shares, hundreds of saves. The content that is valuable is what is going to speak to people. They don't care about how good or awesome you think you are. So you need to find a way to be valuable to people. What are you doing for them? Because they don't care how great you think you are.
And that being said, so what are your long-term plans for content, for your stream on YouTube, for gaming in general? Because I will say this. I have reached a point now with Destiny 2. I've now reached a point with Destiny 2 where the game doesn't really surprise me anymore. It seems like, I mean, I played it for 3,800 hours now. I played 3,800 hours of Destiny 2. Started.
That's a lot of hours.
Yeah, that's a lot of hours. And so I've reached a point now where I turn on the game and maybe play a couple games of Gambit, run some strikes, play some sandbox, and for me, it's shifted in my head from something that I'm like, oh, I'm doing this to, you know what? I just need to wind down for the night. I had some crap happen with the family. Maybe I got some things going on at work, and I just need to kind of zone out. And so for me to kind of stay on top of things and be excited about doing things, I've shifted to other games. So for you, long-term plans. I mean, when it comes to Destiny 2, are you kind of cutting that down because you're like, look, I'm tired of people chasing me down in Crucible. It seems like that, whenever somebody doesn't like one of the things that I say about a certain perk, they're throwing hate comments at me and just being an all-around jerk face. I mean, I guess long-term plans.
Long-term plans. I would love for one day for the channel to bring in money, but what my channel primarily exists as, for right now, is a proof of concept, proof that I have video editing skills.
Okay.
Proof that I can write a script, proof I can edit it and narrate it and edit the audio. Just proof that I can do it as a job. That's what I would say my long-term plans are. It's proof of concept. It's a resume, if you will.
Okay.
Or portfolio. That's a better way to define it. It's a portfolio.
See, and that's really interesting because I don't think a lot of people I don't think a lot of creators see beyond their own content to what their content does, because I can say for myself, watching how I've evolved on my when it comes to the stuff I make in my podcast and the various things that I've chosen to do versus not do, I can say that I have moved to kind of that second and third level of, okay, there has to be something in each thing I do that I can say, okay, I'm a little better at this. I'm a little better doing this. I need to fix this. And I look at those details. I look at those details when I watch other creators. Like, oh, the way that person does their transitions is really cool. I'll try
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And so seeing, I mean, this goes all the way back to what I said at the start. Your content is a reflection of yourself and your mindset, your personal mindset of getting better, trying new things, taking risks, and experimenting. It shows through. It shows through in not just your content, but also your everyday life. I mean, you're thinking, like you said at the start, 2 years from now, I'm out of the Army.
Yeah.
What the hell am I going to do with myself, right?
Actually, just a year. Yeah, not just a year. No, I'm out of the Army.
Right.
Yeah, and so I've been fortunate enough to be able to talk with some people who I truly respect and admire as communications specialists.
Right.
And because that's what my bachelor's is in, is communications.
Okay.
I've been fortunate enough to get their wisdom and their guidance, and what I would most likely end up doing is being either maybe a member of a player support team. If in a dream world, I could go back to Seattle. That was where I was stationed before this. Actually, Fort Lewis, Washington, just south of Seattle, but basically, an hour south of Seattle. I could go back to Lewis or to Tacoma, Seattle area, and end up as a member of a player support team at Bungie. I could hang out with some of the friends that I already have there. Shout out to Pino, if you know who Pinotorius is on Twitter. Adam and I have hung out before, and he's a really cool cat. So, in a perfect world, I could go there, hang out with some of my other friends. Amber, who's also there. She's someone I play with regularly. Shout out to Amber if she's listening. That would be great. I could be on the player support team there, or maybe, if not a community manager, because someone I talked me out of wanting to become a community manager pretty effectively. Yeah. Plus, I mean, God, imagine being Dylan, Cosmo, Hippie, or Sam. Yeah.
Dude, I don't. So here's what I think about that. I spent 20 years as a fast pitch softball umpire. Okay, I worked Division One.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so I worked Division One fast pitch softball for a while, and I've worked every age group you could possibly think of. I've worked adult fast pitch. I've worked everything you could possibly think of, and so I've been called every name you could possibly think of, every insult you could possibly think of, I have heard. Now, granted, I've never served in the armed forces. I know that Marines can be really salty, like super extra salty, but I will say, I have a friend who's a Marine, and he said something like, "Oh, I get that," but it takes a special kind of individual to be yelled at every day at work and still be in a good mood. I do not envy DMG one bit, not in the slightest. He does a fantastic job. I always try to frame my comments to him in the best way possible, because I know he deals with a lot of dumb people on a daily basis. So I don't blame you. I don't blame you for not wanting to be a community manager, because boy, oh God. I just watch what he goes through on a daily basis. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. People are so horrible.
It looks like its own personal kind of hell, you know? Like, I don't know how Dylan or Cosmo or like I said, Sam or Hippie do it.
Right.
Just, I don't know. Or Nicole, she's their social media manager.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes a certain kind of person. I hope one day that I can meet those people. And here's the true story. I lived 3.5 hours from Bungie headquarters. So if you ever come back to Fort Lewis or in that area, you know, man, I'll drive over and
sounds good.
Say hi to you. So hey, Critbuff, you've been an awesome guest today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, very, very much for joining me today. So if people want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
The easiest way would probably be Twitter, where you can find me at Critbuff. And then, of course, there is YouTube. If you search YouTube for Critbuff, you'll find my channel there. Like I said, videos are irregular. I do apologize, but at the end of the day, I have to be proud of what I put out, and I'm not gonna put garbage out there. So.
Nope. I completely agree, and I can say that your videos are not garbage. They are.
Thank you.
They are top tier. I have learned a lot from your videos, and for everybody out there, you can see right there on the overlay on the bottom right there is his Twitter handle. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Please do like, share, subscribe. Also, head over to GBIRl.com. You will see some of this. You'll see some exclusive content there that I only have on GBIRL.com, versions of my podcast that I call GBIRL Raw. You will see some of the older videos that are previously on YouTube that I've just pulled the audio from to put there as well. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you for tuning in today. You can find links to everyone on the show in the description below. Check out Bill the Conqueror on Twitch and Twitter to stay up to date on his thoughts and ideas about gaming culture.